Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm here with Dr. Stephen Woltin. He is a holistic chiropractor, and how he says is he helps everybody from the womb to the tomb. Is that right? So that is awesome, and he's also mobile. So he's here to help with all your needs and also just here to educate you. So I do have a question for you about real estate. So what are the top 3 things that you like in a home?
Okay, so I think it's location, location, and location. For sure.
For sure. That's what we say.
In that, I love a big kitchen. I love an open floor plan. And I like French, what are they calling it now? French country, French?
Like doors or
Yeah,
like the style of the home, like a farmhouse style, kind of like
French
different.
farmhouse.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Like bead board
Beautiful.
and batten and shiplap and all that
Oh,
stuff.
that's
I
beautiful.
love all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Those are very good. Those are really nice things to have in a home. I love that, especially the farmhouse style. I know that's coming more into style. So we're here to talk about health and wellness. So Dr. Stephen, I want to know why is America so sick?
So I think America is sick, and I'm not really sure there's an exact one reason. I think it's many, many, many things. So just to show how sick we really are, the numbers that are coming out right now says that 75% of us are morbidly obese, and that's just unacceptable. And then about half the country, 50% of the country, now you're talking about 150 million people are pre-diabetic or diabetic. And we know that diabetes, is something that happens. Some people need insulin. They don't have a pancreas.
Right.
But the rest of it is from the carbs.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say the reason we're sick at the end of the day is because of the stresses we're putting into our body, the biggest one being food.
Yeah.
And people aren't eating right.
Right. People don't care, to take care of their bodies or
just think
mostly, what do you think?
I think maybe they're ignorant.
Okay.
And I'm not calling people ignorant. I just think that maybe they're naive or ignorant to what's really going on out there. So what I suggest is get the app, right? Yucca is a great app.
Yes.
Bobby Approved, Trash Panda. There's several of them.
Okay.
And just start scanning
good.
your foods. You don't even have to get that crazy. Just stop buying anything with high fructose corn syrup in it. So right now, today, there's a boycott against Kellogg's.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
So these moms got together and they were like, hey, Kellogg's, how come the Fruit Loops in Europe doesn't have all these food coloring in it? And they're using alternative sources for food coloring, like beets for red. But yet here in America, we have a stack
artificial
of
colors
and
flavors.
flavors.
Yeah.
And these moms are like, it's crazy. So they're boycotting Kellogg's. Who cares? Do they even care? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. That's crazy.
So we have to just start watching. So the cereal aisle, just like I know you've heard this. When you go to the supermarket, stay on the outside of the supermarket because that's where all the good stuff is. Once we start getting into the aisles, start getting into more of the processed foods. And those are the dangers. So if you have to eat processed, please start watching for high fructose corn syrup.
Okay.
Anything artificial, flavor, or color. And the other one is the nut seed oils. And those are the big ones right now. It's big buzzword.
Wow.
Canola oil,
soybean
oil, any of the other, like I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah.
That's not, no, it's terrible. Don't eat that.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because it's all artificial,
it's
right?
Fake. It's oil.
Fake. Yeah.
Get real butter. Real butter is so much better for you than
Real
anything.
butter?
We get the Kerrygold. I'm like doing like endorsements here.
Yeah.
Kerrygold is great. It comes from Ireland.
Okay.
In my eye, I'm like, oh, I think Ireland's probably less polluted than America, and the cows are probably treated better.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm like, it's got to be better for you.
Yeah.
So I buy that.
Okay. That's good to know. Good information.
So that's the food stuff that we're doing, and our caloric intake is too big as well, right? So what did we say earlier was the caloric intake for the
what did you say? It was like
3,200, I
Okay.
think. You can get by on about 13 to 1,500.
Yeah.
A smaller person like you probably get by with less than 1,000 calories a day. Me too. I'm not a big guy.
Right.
But like, someone, average size guy, 6'1", 190, he probably needs a little bit more.
A little bit more.
But 3,000 calories is way too much. So our portions are too big.
Okay.
We're eating the wrong stuff with all the refined carbohydrates, and we're sedentary. America is a car culture. We drive everywhere. We drive across the street sometimes.
Yeah.
So we're not walking enough, and that's definitely leading to it. So sedentary.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Not walking enough, not enough
Absolutely.
exercise, not watching the calorie intake that we take every single day. The only time we start watching it is whenever we're starting to gain weight. So
And that shows you just where I think America's mindset
mindset.
is they're not worried about it until it starts to look like I'm overweight.
Right.
And then like
And the
look at
clothes don't start fitting.
right. And like look how many people go to
Yeah.
the gym in January.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah, and then by the middle of the year, everybody's pretty much gone.
Gone.
And that's how I think most gyms make their money is that everybody's
wanna
still
own a
paying the
gym.
prescription.
Yeah.
You're right. They're the subscription,
Absolutely.
but they're not going to the gym.
They're
That's
not
so
using
funny.
the equipment. They're not using the hot water. They're not there. And it's a great business model. I wish I could sell chiropractic to people that didn't come in. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I know, right?
I wouldn't do that. But
Yeah.
so get
Okay.
moving, right?
Yeah.
Don't be sedentary. Move around the office. Stop doing the things when we talked about this last time. Looking down at your phone like this is definitely not good for your neck.
Right. And then standing when you have a desk, right? Like people working from home or working from the office, having a desk that moves
Stand-up desk.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're really inexpensive right
Yeah.
now on Amazon. You can get a stand-up desk for like $100. It goes right on top of your regular desk.
Okay.
Goes up and down, hydraulic or electric, whatever it is.
Okay.
You have to want to change,
Right.
right? And the first thing is knowledge. If you don't know there's a problem and it's just about your weight,
Right.
then you're just going to lose the weight and go back to the things that got you here. I've heard the craziest diets people do.
What is it?
Like just crazy stuff. Like I had a patient who was like, I lost 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. All I ate was boar's head turkey. I'm like, okay, well, boar's head turkey is not the worst thing in the world to eat. I mean, bologna's worse, right? But were you getting any roughage? Right? Were you getting any vitamins? All you were getting was protein.
Yeah.
And you could probably lose weight that way. It's just not healthy.
Not as healthy. So I know some people will do like the protein diet. So that's really
Protein diet is good because it's a combination. It's usually very high in protein.
Yeah.
And then as long as you're putting in the good fats and avoiding those simple carbs,
Okay.
I love that. I love a paleo diet.
Okay.
A paleo diet is very protein
yeah.
based.
Okay.
I don't like the word diet. You know,
Yeah.
diet means anything you put in your mouth. Right? You're on a diet right now.
True.
This might not be a good diet.
Right. I've heard the joke, I'm on a seafood diet.
Right.
It's like I seafood and I eat it.
That's right. And a lot of people do. Back to portion control. Like if you go to Moe's, take half of it home for dinner.
Yeah.
Don't eat the whole burrito. It's just
The
too
whole
much.
thing. Or the whole bowl.
I know.
Sometimes you get a salad bowl, but you get rice and beans and
Everything.
guacamole.
It's enough for like a family of two.
Yeah. For sure.
So Americans are sick, but they don't have to be,
Right.
right? I think there's choices out there, right? So again, what can we do to help ourselves? It's not a lost cause, although there's a lot of stuff bad. So go through all the bad things, right? The water's got plastic in it, and it's completely chlorinated and fluoridated. And so there's some controversy on all these heavy chemicals that are in your water.
Yeah.
On top of that, people aren't moving.
Right.
On top of that, people are not taking the time for their own mental health.
Right.
And we know the mental health issue in this country is huge.
Yes. So
Everybody is stressed and everybody needs somebody
depressed.
to talk
Yeah, or
to.
depressed.
Anxious.
Right.
And have you heard that depression is thinking about your past all the time?
Really?
And anxiety is thinking about your future all the time.
Oh my gosh. No, I've never heard it explained that way.
And
That's pretty
why
good.
You have to stay in the moment. There was a book that I saw. I didn't even read the book. I just saw the flap. And it was about being in the moment. I can't remember what he called it. And the analogy he gave was you're in your car and you're looking in the rearview mirror and that's all that stuff behind you.
Oh.
And then you're looking in front of you at all this traffic in front of you. And you're not right there in the cabin. And that's where you need to be in life,
that
is in
makes
the
sense.
cabin.
Yeah.
So I've been
In the moment.
You
right?
have to stay in the moment.
Okay.
So I've been listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza. I know I told you about him the last time we
Yeah.
talked. And he's got this crazy story about how he healed his broken spine, like literally without surgery.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah.
Unheard of.
Such a,
But if it happened for one person, it can happen for everybody.
right.
And he says something really poignant. He goes, if a patient came, he was a chiropractor at the time. If a patient came to me with, I think it's like 5 shattered vertebrae from a bicycling accident, he would have referred them to go get the surgery. He goes, but this was me.
Yeah. Right.
He was already doing karate and yoga and chiropractic.
Wow.
And he,
All after this accident.
During-
all after.
during.
During.
but what he did was while he was in the hospital, he had surgeon after surgeon telling him, you have to put the rods in your spine right now. It's unstable.
My
And he
gosh.
refused to believe them.
Yeah.
And he created this meditation that he does. And the first part of the meditation was knowing God, having a personal relationship with God, Spirit, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
The Christ light, whatever that is that animates us.
Yeah.
He had a personal relationship with it, he,
Yeah.
she.
Yeah.
And then he took what he thought was himself and let that go away because he didn't have to think about his mortgage or the IRS or his wife or anything because he was like on death's door.
Oh, yeah.
Only thing he had to think about was getting
His
healthy.
life. Yeah. Like, yeah, fighting for his life.
Like
really.
literally.
Yeah. Right.
That's all he cared about. And he said that's what happens with a lot of people in trauma is that's when they find God because there is nothing else. Because nothing else matters.
You hit rock bottom and you're like, well, I need to either believe or
get off the
or who
pot.
knows, right?
And then the third thing he does, though, and this is how he heals, is every day he does a meditation where he rebuilds his spine. In his mind, he visualizes the somites and the little tiny bone cells and blood cells and everything that's necessary for a spine to get put back together as if it was growing for the first time, like an embryo.
Gosh, like in the stomach and just building the building blocks of it.
Like
oh my
the
gosh.
food he ate turned into protein.
Wow.
The body took that protein and calcium and everything else that bone is made of and rebuilt it. He never had the surgery,
Wow.
and he's a living testament now to this day.
Wow.
That's an amazing story.
That is
And
crazy.
most people would not be able to
Right.
get to that level of commitment. He said something really poignant. If you want to heal yourself, if you really want to make a change, it's not something you talk about at a cocktail party. You have to go do the work.
Yeah.
And it's really serious work. And let's face it, most people don't want to do it.
Yeah. Right.
We can do small parts of it, though.
Okay.
We don't have to go full-blown Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
We can be a little more mindful during our day. And that's what's amazing about the technology.
Right.
Is there's so many apps out there.
Yeah.
There's Mindspace, and there's this space, and there's Insight Timer. There's all these tools.
Okay.
So what I try and teach people, especially busy realtors, because I know you're really busy selling houses, buying houses.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't have time to eat,
I
or
know.
we'll eat on the road, or eat fast food, or the snacks. Like
that's
little
a
bars,
lot.
protein bars.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you, because realtors hustle, and you don't really have an office, even though you have a beautiful office here.
Right.
Your
It's
office
in
is
our
kinda your
car. Exactly.
And you're showing homes, and probably less now than you did back before Zillow
Yes.
and the internet. Well, don't mention Zillow.
Yeah.
But before the internet, I'm sure you were doing much more showings of homes all the time. So anyway, you're really, really busy. What can you do? You're like, Doc, well, what can I do? You can just take time for yourself. Use one of those apps, right?
Like
What
the Yuka app, or you talking about the
like Mindspace or Mindset or just
like for the mind meditation.
mindfulness.
And, okay.
It doesn't have to be religious.
Okay.
Because a lot of people think that meditation is another religion because it's so tightly tied to Hinduism.
Okay.
So sometimes some people that are fundamental in their religious beliefs don't want to do another religion's ceremonies because they feel like it's contradictory.
Right.
I don't think it is.
Okay.
Some people
It's
do, and I
just
respect that. I don't care what you do. You can do the Lord's Prayer for all I care, right? Do something that lets you get back to who you really are.
So your mind, right?
Your
All
mind
about the mind.
is your, yes.
Controlling the mind and
Silencing the mind.
yes. Okay.
And letting it do what it's supposed to do because you're more than the educated brain.
Right.
You know a lot about MLS and
yes, about houses
properties and property taxes and setback lines.
Right.
And
And
all
there's
that
so
stuff.
much inspections.
Right. And
So
that's not who you are.
So silencing the mind so that to think clearer is what basically you're saying, right? And it goes to help anybody that's a busy in any profession,
Absolutely.
right? Not only realtors, but I mean financial
Doctors and
advisors,
lawyers
lenders,
and
doctors.
The janitor, the
Right.
cook at your local. If we can all just learn
Okay.
to take a deep breath and relax, even if it's just for 1 minute.
Okay.
And I get people that are like, I'm too busy. You go to the bathroom
1
every
minute?
day.
Do it while you're
Do it in the bathroom. I don't care where you do it.
Yeah.
So I teach belly breath, which is alpha breath. I'm sorry, belly breath. Some people call it theta breath, box breathing. And basically, when you breathe, and you can try it right now. When you breathe in, I want you to stick your belly out. There you go. A lot of people don't like doing that, especially women. They're like, I'm not sticking my belly out. So that's your inhale. And then your exhale is the opposite, almost like you're trying to touch your belly to your spine. Watch a baby breathe. You have any babies in your life? Neighbors, cousins, friends?
Maybe friends, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
somebody here
friends,
at the
maybe.
office has a
Yeah.
baby.
Yep.
watch the babies breathe. They breathe from their belly.
Oh.
That's why they have those big Buddha bellies.
They do. Mm-hmm.
So what happens when you breathe from your belly, I know that you probably can't see this on camera.
Yeah.
Anyway, your diaphragm is dropping into
Okay.
your abdomen, and that allows the lung field to open.
Yeah.
And then when you breathe out and you exhale, you're closing it off so all that carbon dioxide can get out.
So basically, okay, so when you breathe in as the belly's out.
So the lungs can fall into the abdomen.
Oh.
So that they can open all the way.
Okay, interesting.
So
okay.
most of the people in your office are
Yeah.
breathing. If you ask most adults to breathe, they breathe from their chest, and then you can't fill and you can't get oxygen. If you don't have oxygen, you can't live because that's a molecule of life.
Yeah, right. That's what.
How long can you hold your breath for?
I don't know.
A minute?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe?
Oh, a minute,
Okay.
if even
All right.
that.
So we need that oxygen, and we need more of it. We need better oxygen. So, and that's a way to heal.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what else can we do? You
Okay,
talked
so
about-
basically, yeah, controlling the mind, having the meditation at least for 1 minute, right, throughout the day. Just once a day is enough, or would you say a little bit more, maybe 3 times a day?
I like doing it as often as I can.
Okay.
You should have something
Okay.
when your eyes first open in the morning and you look
Yeah.
at the wherever you are, the ceiling or the clock or the pillow, whatever position you're in.
Yeah.
So this is what I personally do: is I wake up every single morning, and first and foremost, I thank God that I made it through another night, that I didn't
Right.
die in my sleep, because millions of people died last night in their sleep.
Yeah.
So here I am for another
Yep.
day, and I'm humbled. I'm trying to be I am as humble as I can be. And I personally thank God for my eyes that I can see this beautiful world, see my beautiful wife, see my beautiful
Right.
children, my ears that I can hear this beautiful sounds of the birds and everything.
Right. Everything that was working the way it's supposed to and the way it did the
Everything-
day before, right?
Absolutely. And thank God for all my special senses. So what I can see, what I can taste, what I can touch, what I can smell, and just be thankful for all those things. And then I go outside and I try to do just sit with my morning coffee, do a little water with lemon first, and then my morning coffee,
Okay.
listen to the birds, and just be.
Be thankful.
Just
Be there in the
thankful.
moment.
Thankful is the most important
Okay.
thing you can do,
I love that.
because we don't have anything else really,
Right.
right? When
Yeah.
If you're on your deathbed, you're
Right.
very, very thankful.
All you think about are your memories.
Correct. And
Yeah.
we don't have to be on our deathbed or paralyzed to realize that. There's tools we have beforehand. So that's what I personally do. And you can do whatever you want. Like I said, you can say a prayer, you can meditate, you can breathe, whatever works for you, but you have to have a routine. And that's what Dispenza means when he says the work.
Right.
You have to put it in. They say if you do it for as little as 7 days, you can start to see results.
Wow, 7 days,
Right.
just consistently. It's
Consistency
about
is
and
the
that's
key.
one thing that people struggle with. I mean, I struggle with that is just being consistent, being
know.
disciplined.
So use your smartwatch
Yeah.
or your smartphone to remind you. And that's what I was
That's
getting back at
true.
the apps. There's apps to remind you to drink your water. There's apps to remind you to move. There's apps to remind you to breathe.
Yeah.
And I think that use your technology to your advantage.
Yeah, and most people don't know about that. I mean, yeah, and if they do, they haven't just implemented those pieces to get them to a better lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
They just don't know, or it's not
Right.
important to them yet, or
Right.
whatever their case is.
Right.
I'll try and meet everybody where they're at.
Yeah.
Like if you come to me and you're like, Doc, whatever is going on with you,
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and force all this knowledge down your throat at once because it's too much.
Right.
You'd be like, Doc, I just want to get my
much,
back
I just-
adjusted. I don't want to become a guru. And so I try and meet everybody where they're at, and that's
Okay.
kind of why I gravitated towards chiropractic.
Okay.
Chiropractic is just one way to get healthier.
help, right.
I believe it's the most root thing that we can do. I
Okay.
rail against how we're kind of like the illegitimate child of medicine. And medicine is such this powerful, powerful machine, especially here in the West. Now, we talked about this earlier. The average American is taking 11 prescriptions.
Yeah, that's insane.
a lot
I
of
mean,
drugs.
I didn't know that until I heard that from you. So
And even if that's an exaggeration, let's
Yeah.
call it an exaggeration, the average American is taking 8 or
that's
7.
still a lot.
It's too many.
Too many.